important part of making pho is getting your broth right. And the base of that is your bones for your broth. So we're using about 6 pounds of beef bones. I've got beef neck bones, some ankle joint bones, and some oxtail, which gives a really beautiful, rich flavor to the pho. And I will parboil this first, which means doing a first boil to get all of the yucky stuff off of the meat and the scum and things like that, to clean them, and then we're gonna actually boil them with the aromatics, and I'll show you how to do that. Okay, so the next step is to toast your aromatics, because it really unlocks all the flavors in the pho. So we have 6 star anise, 2 cardamom pods, bay leaf, 1 cinnamon stick, I think about 6 cloves, and this is a large clove, fennel seeds, about 1 tablespoon, about 1 tablespoon of black peppercorn, and 1 tablespoon of cardamom. So I'll just toast these on the stove top. So next I want to roast the wet aromatics. So what I have here is an onion, some ginger, and some garlic cloves. And I roast them separate from the dry ingredients because obviously they're different. They've got that moisture that you want to sweat out, okay? So I'll just put everything down. Okay, so the wet aromatics are roasted now, and they should have just kind of that nice char to it, but not like super burnt. The most important part of pho making is getting the beef broth right. So I have about 6 pounds of beef bones, a variation of beef neck bones, some ankle and leg bones, and some oxtail bones, which has a really rich, beautiful flavor. So I'm just gonna parboil them, which means putting everything in and doing a quick boil to get rid of all of the kind of gross gunk on the outside of the meat that we don't want, and just clean the bones basically so that we can use them in our broth. So the next step is, you see all this gunk on the top, we're just gonna skim it. So I'll just take all this. This is all the stuff you're basically kind of like washing off of the meat. I'm gonna show you, so I'm gonna put all of the bones into what I'm actually going to boil the pho broth in, okay? So I usually do it in my crock pot because I love to boil the bones until like the meat falls off and all that like delicious broth kind of forms over. And I do it overnight. That's just how I do it. Then after that, I'm gonna put all of my toasted aromatics into our pot. You can put it in a tea bag, but since I'm gonna strain the soup after it boils, it doesn't really matter. I'm going to level off the pot of pho with hot water. So this is gonna be the base of the broth. Oh shit, it's hot. I know I'm completely blocking you. And you just want to cover it to the top, basically, and let that boil. And I turned it on to high, and you just seal it up. Set it and forget it. When the water boils, I just kind of do a little flash cook with the noodles. You don't have to cook them very long. They cook really quickly. So you can just shake it around, shake it around, shake it around. And you can always just try it to make sure it's cooked by breaking it up, and if it breaks really easily, it's done. So you can just plate it up. So usually the garnishes I have are cilantro, some bean sprouts, onion, maybe some green onion, basil, some jalapenos if you're feeling spicy, and some lime. And then the meats that I use are thinly sliced sirloin. So either you can buy the sirloin, and then cut it up yourself, but at the Asian markets, they usually have it already sliced and frozen, so it's easier to peel off. and then beef balls. And yeah, so you can just fix your own plate. And also we have fish sauce. So I like to season at the end. So once this pho pot boils completely, then I add like the fish sauce, the sugar, the pepper at the end. Cook in there, but the sirloin I'm gonna cook I'm just gonna very quickly do a flash cook. Because they cook really quickly, so you don't need to like cook it that much, and they're gonna cook in the broth too. So zoom in a little bit to see the consistency of the broth, and you can see it's just, after it cooks down, like it's got that really rich, thick broth, and that's the way I like my pho. Because the bones have really boiled down, and all that kind of like bone marrow and cartilage and all that good stuff is in here. It's that bone broth live. Hashtag bone broth live. Okay, so I'm gonna plate up now. So a little bit broth and some beef balls. And then I love to serve it with a side of hoisin and sriracha, just to dip all the fun meats and stuff. So, yeah, look at that. Looks so good. Look at that. Little zhuzh. And usually I'll do just like a little bit of boop, boop. And yeah, some fresh lime. I put some fresh lime already. And we're all set. So that's how you make pho. A la Lily's Kitchen.